What makes a truly great leader? Is it, an innate talent or maybe a stroke of luck? Or is it actually a set of learnable principles applied with just relentless discipline? What if you could get a shortcut to understanding the minds, the methods of the most impactful CEOs of our time, without having to sift through countless books, reports, dense biographies? Welcome to the deep dive. We take your source material, extract the most vital insights, those surprising facts, and help you quickly become well informed on fascinating topics. Today, we're embarking on, well, an exciting deep dive into the world of legendary CEOs. Our mission: to
Yeah.
deconstruct what truly makes exceptional leadership right at the very top. We're drawing from a really rich collection of insights for you today. Everything from cutting-edge academic research, detailed biographical accounts, to specific, really compelling case studies. We'll be looking at figures who have not just led, but transformed industries, even society itself. Names like Steve Jobs, Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Satya Nadella, Indra Nooyi, and Jensen Huang.
It's a critical question, really. What actually defines greatness in a CEO? Because as you'll discover, it's far more nuanced than just the immediate bottom line, isn't it? It's fundamentally about sustained value creation. It's about an extraordinary capacity for navigating these profound industry shifts and that unwavering resolve to steer huge organizations through tumultuous crises, often leaving an enduring, sometimes even revolutionary legacy that, outlives their tenure.
Absolutely. By the end of this deep dive, you'll have a much clearer understanding of the common threads running through their characteristics, the strategic blueprints they use to, well, architect growth, and crucially, those learnable principles that you can apply, whether you're leading a small team, building a business from scratch, or frankly, just curious about what makes these titans tick. We'll even pull back the curtain on the inevitable pitfalls, the stumbles that even the greatest can fall into. So anything already standing out to you? Okay, let's unpack this fascinating material then. Let's explore the anatomy of, well, unparalleled success.
When we talk about the CEO role, it's really crucial to grasp the sheer weight, the profound, almost disproportionate impact this position carries. Think about it. Research suggests that the CEO alone can account for as much as 45% of a company's performance.
45%.
Yeah, 45%. And this isn't just about making good decisions in isolation. It's about shaping a company's entire strategic trajectory, embedding its core culture, and ultimately determining its long-term success or failure. It's a stewardship role with immense leverage, really, where one individual's vision truly ripples through an entire enterprise.
45%. Wow, that's nearly half of a company's performance tied directly to one person's vision, their decisions, their actions. It absolutely underscores why this role is so demanding, so influential, and why getting it right can mean the difference between, a market leader and a forgotten name in business history. It's not just managing, it's architecting, like you said.
Historically, greatness in a CEO was primarily measured by very narrow financial metrics, right? Quarterly earnings, stock price, immediate shareholder returns. The focus was almost exclusively on that immediate bottom line. But the evaluation landscape has evolved significantly over recent years.
How so?
Well, it's driven by both internal shifts within organizations and external pressures from society and increasingly conscious investors. We're seeing a much broader, more holistic understanding of what constitutes truly exceptional leadership.
That's a fascinating evolution. So, what do you think were the main drivers behind that shift towards, say, broader metrics like ESG, environmental, social, and governance ratings? For example, the Harvard Business Review's 2019 ranking, it famously named Jensen Huang of NVIDIA as the best performing CEO. And it wasn't just for financial outcomes, right?
Right.
A significant factor was the company's strong ESG performance. So was it purely investor pressure, or were there other forces like consumer demand or even internal employee activism?
That's a great question. And it's definitely multifaceted. I mean, while investor pressure for sustainable long-term returns certainly plays a part, the shift is also driven by a recognition that a company's positive impact on its employees, communities, the environment, it's increasingly tied to its long-term health and success.
Okay.
Consumers are more aware of corporate practices now, and employees, especially, younger generations, are looking for purpose beyond just a paycheck. So this broader understanding signals that corporate responsibility, it extends well beyond the balance sheet. It encompasses societal impact, ethical conduct, the ability to create long-term value for all stakeholders, not just shareholders.
Right, a much wider view.
Exactly. Leaders are now celebrated not only for financial prowess, but for driving profound cultural transformations within their organizations, fostering a strong social purpose, and integrating those values into the core business model. It's about building a sustainable enterprise that thrives on multiple dimensions.
Despite the immense allure, the perceived power of the CEO role, achieving and, maybe more importantly, maintaining this standard of excellence is exceptionally rare. It's an incredibly high bar. Studies indicate that only, 3 in 5 newly appointed CEOs actually live up to performance expectations within their first 18 months.
Yeah.
That's a startling statistic. It shows just how challenging it is to step into that role and immediately excel, let alone sustain it for years.
In this high bar, it highlights a crucial distinction one you rarely hear discussed, actually. The attributes and achievements that get someone to the CEO role are not always the same as the skills and mindset required to excel in it.
Interesting point.
The journey to the top is often about individual ambition, aggressive goal setting, operational execution. But the journey at the top, well, that's another thing entirely. The sheer breadth of responsibilities, from formulating grand strategy, ensuring organizational alignment, leading vast teams, engaging effectively with the board, managing external stakeholders, even maintaining personal working norms, it demands continuous learning, adaptation, development within the role itself.
So the skills that got you there aren't necessarily the ones that keep you there successfully.
Precisely. The skills that made you a fantastic head of sales or product development might simply not be sufficient to navigate, say, global supply chains or complex geopolitical tensions. You can't just rest on your laurels once you're there. You have to evolve constantly.
So it's not just about reaching the summit, but about continuously transforming and evolving once you're there. It's like the goalposts keep moving even as you run towards them. It requires, I guess, a profound commitment to personal growth and self-awareness, even at the very highest level, and an ability to shed old habits that might have served you well on the way up, but now hold you back.
Exactly that. Constant evolution is key.
Okay, so to really understand what makes these leaders great, we probably need to dive into their individual stories. We've selected a diverse group, as you mentioned, each with a unique path, a transformative impact, different industries, different eras, and often, well, radically different approaches to leadership.
And while their journeys in specific contexts differ quite a bit, you'll undoubtedly notice these common threads woven throughout: vision, resilience, transformation. Let's unpack some of these fascinating profiles. Maybe start with a figure who really redefined what a comeback truly means.
Let's absolutely start with Steve Jobs, the ultimate comeback kid, right? He co-founded Apple in his parents' garage with Steve Wozniak. But then, after a power struggle with the board and CEO John Sculley, he famously got ousted in 1985 from the very company he created.
Incredible story.
Yeah, he went off, founded Nexty Inc., also acquired Pixar. But then, in one of the most dramatic returns in business history, he came back to Apple in 1997. And the company was teetering on the brink of bankruptcy, literally 90 days from insolvency.
His transformative impact is truly undeniable, especially in that second act. Jobs didn't just save Apple. He revolutionized multiple industries, iconic products like the iMac, iPod, the iPhone, iPad. His return spurred one of the most remarkable corporate turnarounds ever, transforming Apple into one of the world's most valuable companies, all fueled by that iconic think different philosophy.
Right, think different.
And what's fascinating here is how ruthlessly he simplified Apple's product line when he returned. He killed off numerous projects, just focused on a few truly exceptional products that would redefine their categories.
That focus was key.
Absolutely. This wasn't just about good design, though that was part of it. It was about an integrated ecosystem, hardware, software, services that offered an unparalleled user experience.
That's a critical point. His relevance lies in that visionary leadership, his relentless, almost obsessive focus on product-centric innovation and user experience. He believed in creating products people didn't even know they wanted yet.
Yeah.
Right, pushing beyond just market research.
Exactly.
But it wasn't just product. His branding mastery created devoted, almost cult-like followers. And he showed an incredible ability to navigate crises, even with that often autocratic, intensely demanding, but, deeply inspiring style that pushed people to their absolute limits to deliver his vision. Okay, so from product design genius to, let's say, capital allocation genius, let's pivot to a leader whose brilliance lies in a very different domain. The Oracle of Omaha, Warren Buffett. He made his first stock investment at age 11, bought 3 shares of Citi's Service Preferred.
Amazing.
Heavily influenced by Benjamin Graham, the father of value investing, Buffett transformed a struggling textile manufacturer, Berkshire Hathaway, which he took control of in 1965, into this colossal global conglomerate.
His enduring impact really stems from his long-term value investing philosophy, famously emphasizing strong business fundamentals, a clear margin of safety in pricing, and, crucially, capable management. And what's fascinating about Berkshire Hathaway's growth over $500 billion market cap is its incredibly diverse portfolio. Everything from insurance giants like Geico to railways, energy utilities, iconic consumer products like See's Candies and Coca-Cola.
A real mix.
A real mix. And his unique decentralized management philosophy empowers subsidiary leaders to run their businesses with very little interference. It fosters this powerful sense of ownership. A classic example is See's Candies, acquired for a relatively small sum back in '72. Not a high-growth tech company, but it had a strong brand, pricing power, loyal customers, what Buffett calls a moat.
A moat, right.
He didn't change how they made the chocolate. He simply understood its inherent value and allowed the existing management to continue doing what they did best while he allocated the profits elsewhere. Very hands-off.
So his enduring success offers critical lessons in long-term strategic thinking, an uncompromising commitment to ethical leadership that's huge for him, and the power of empowering subsidiary leaders while maintaining an incredibly lean central operation. Almost counterintuitive today.
Very much so.
So we've seen Jobs rebuilding Apple with products, Buffett with disciplined capital allocation. It's fascinating then to look at Jeff Bezos tackling a different frontier, fundamentally reshaping commerce and cloud computing. Bezos, who famously dismantled his crib with a screwdriver as a toddler.
He really did that.
Apparently. He saw the internet's exponential growth 2,300% annually back then and founded Amazon in 1994. Started as an online bookstore. He stepped down as CEO in 2021, moved to executive chairman, but his impact, well, it continues to reverberate.
Bezos fundamentally reshaped retail with Amazon, growing it into Earth's most customer-centric company. That was his mission. But his true stroke of genius, arguably, wasn't just perfecting online shopping. It was pioneering the cloud computing industry with Amazon Web Services, AWS, which now powers countless businesses worldwide.
AWS was huge.
Huge. His leadership is defined by that unwavering customer obsession, a principle meaning you start with the customer's needs and work backward to invent solutions, even for needs they can't articulate yet. He championed his day one philosophy, a mantra he established, to ensure Amazon always maintained the agility, customer focus, and inventive spirit of a startup, no matter how large it got.
Day one, always day one.
Always day one. This drove relentless innovation and a belief that, quote, invention is a part of each person's job description.
Bezos absolutely exemplifies how aggressive market expansion, combined with a culture of continuous experimentation and a willingness to embrace good failures, can build truly scalable systems. From online retail to cloud infrastructure and beyond. He often talked about his approach as a regret minimization framework, didn't he? He wanted to look back at 80 and minimize regrets of not taking risks.
That framework is quite revealing, yes.
Okay, next up. Bill Gates famously left Harvard to pursue his vision of a computer on every desk and in every home with Paul Allen, co-founded Microsoft in 1975. A pretty bold move back then when personal computers were, a nascent concept.
He spearheaded Microsoft's dominance in the personal computer software industry with MS-DOS and Windows, fundamentally changing how individuals and businesses interact with technology. It's hard to overstate the impact of making computing accessible to the masses.
Truly world-changing.
What's particularly interesting, I think, is his later transition to global philanthropy with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It showcased this real evolution of purpose. He applied his rigorous analytical mind to some of the world's biggest challenges, global health, poverty, demonstrating a capacity to lead well beyond the corporate boardroom.
His career really illustrates that visionary leadership in a nascent industry. Strategic partnerships like that pivotal IBM deal for MS-DOS that put Microsoft software at the heart of the burgeoning PC market, navigating intense competition and notably evolving his leadership style, from famously autocratic in the early days to more transformational, more delegative, especially as Microsoft faced those antitrust challenges.
That evolution is key.
And speaking of Microsoft, Satya Nadella joined the company in '92, held significant leadership roles before becoming CEO in 2014, and he orchestrated this remarkable resurgence for what many saw as a stagnant tech giant.
Nadella truly transformed Microsoft from the inside out. Strategically, he pivoted the company to a cloud-first, mobile-first approach, grew Azure immensely, made significant investments in AI. But perhaps his most profound impact was cultural. He instilled a growth mindset, that belief, championed by Carol Dweck, that abilities can be developed through dedication, hard work, not fixed.
The growth mindset, yeah.
He paired this with a focus on empathy and inclusivity, consciously moving away from a previously siloed, internally competitive culture that had arguably held Microsoft back. The fact that Microsoft's market cap surpassed $3 trillion under his tenure, well, it speaks volumes about the success of his strategic and cultural transformation. He effectively humanized the company.
Nadella is such a compelling example of transforming a large, established, maybe somewhat complacent company through bold strategic shifts and this profound focus on cultural revitalization, with empathy not just as a buzzword, but as a core leadership value driving business outcome.
Absolutely. Empathy is strategy.
Shifting gears now to the consumer world. Indra Nooyi, a real trailblazer, joined PepsiCo in 1994, became CEO in 2006, breaking barriers as one of the most prominent female CEOs globally. And she navigated a mature industry with a very innovative approach.
Nooyi is renowned for her performance with purpose strategy, her commitment to sustainable growth by investing in healthier products, emphasizing environmental sustainability, and empowering employees and communities. This wasn't just, a CSR initiative bolted on the side. She truly linked profit to purpose. Diversified PepsiCo's portfolio through key acquisitions like Quaker Oats, Tropicana, moving beyond just sugary drinks and chips.
She saw that shift coming early.
She foresaw the consumer shift towards health and wellness long before many peers, made difficult decisions to reorient the company, even when facing internal and external skepticism.
Nooyi's tenure really demonstrates strategic leadership in a mature industry. Successfully integrating purpose with profit, navigating complex challenges like activist investors who pushed for a different, often short-sighted path. Her ability to hold a long-term vision in the face of immediate pressure is truly noteworthy.
Steadfast is under pressure, yes.
And finally, let's talk about Jensen Huang, co-founded NVIDIA and a Denny's restaurant in 1993. Led it from a niche graphics chip company to a dominant force in artificial intelligence. He's been at the helm from day one, and his journey is one of incredible foresight.
Huang's visionary recognition of GPUs' parallel processing capabilities for AI revolutionized an entire technological era. Early on, when GPUs were mainly for gaming graphics, he invested heavily in CEA.
CEA was foundational.
Absolutely foundational. It's a software platform that basically allowed developers to harness the immense parallel processing power of NVIDIA's chips for general-purpose computing, effectively unlocking their potential for the AI revolution. NVIDIA's market cap hitting $3 trillion, briefly becoming the world's most valuable company, that's a direct result of that foresight. He fosters this unique culture of relentless execution, risk-taking, learning from failures. Operates with an unconventional, extremely flat hierarchy where he directly manages a large number of reports.
Huang's leadership is just a powerful case study in identifying and creating entirely new markets for existing technologies, fostering radical innovation, navigating extreme industry competitiveness with an unconventional, agile structure. He wasn't just building a company, he was building an industry.
He really was. And what's truly fascinating when you look across these profiles is this powerful pattern emerging. A significant number of these leaders were either founders, Jobs, Bezos, Gates, Huang, or had deep long-term internal experience before becoming CEO, like Nadella and Nooyi.
Right, the insider advantage.
This institutional knowledge, or foundational vision, often provides a distinct advantage in embedding a long-term vision and leveraging or reshaping corporate culture for sustained growth. While external hires can be invaluable in crisis, the insider often has a more intrinsic connection to the core purpose and history, which can be invaluable.
And it's not just about excelling within existing markets, is it? Many of them created entirely new markets or fundamentally reconfigured industries. Jobs was instrumental in birthing the modern smartphone, digital music ecosystems. Bezos didn't just optimize selling books online, he pioneered public cloud computing with AWS, seeing this massive, unarticulated need.
Right.
And Huang didn't just make better graphics chips, he foresaw and enabled the AI revolution with GPUs, effectively creating a new backbone for an entire technological era. What does this capacity for market creation tell us?
This capacity for transformational innovation, as we might call it, shows a profound willingness to pursue disruptive, game-changing opportunities, even if it means enduring periods of misunderstanding or skepticism, as Amazon certainly did in its early years.
A lot of skepticism back then.
A lot. It requires a high tolerance for ambiguity, a profound conviction in one's vision even when others don't see it, and a significant appetite for calculated risk. These aren't incremental changes. They're paradigm shifts born from a deep understanding of future trends and a readiness to invest heavily, sometimes years ahead of the market.
So while each CEO we've discussed certainly has a unique style, operates in a distinct context, a closer look reveals these powerful recurring characteristics. core values that underpin their extraordinary success. And these aren't just surface traits, are they? They seem like deeply ingrained principles shaping their decisions, the cultures they cultivate.
Exactly. A primary hallmark is this incredible ability to envision a compelling future and then chart a detailed course to reach it. McKinsey talks about reframing what winning means, looking beyond immediate industry dominance to a broader stage. Steve Jobs, for instance, didn't just envision selling computers, he envisioned empowering individuals with technology, changing the world, making complex tech intuitive. Bezos saw the internet's potential far beyond selling books, anticipating it as the new infrastructure for commerce and computing.
And Indra Nooyi at PepsiCo.
Right. Indra Nooyi anticipated that societal shift to health and wellness, proactively steering the company towards healthier products, sustainable practices, even when it was unpopular with some investors.
And this visionary outlook is almost always coupled with a profound commitment to long-term thinking. Warren Buffett is the quintessential example, isn't he? His favorite holding period being forever.
Forever, yeah.
He consistently prioritizes sustained value creation over short-term market fluctuations, a philosophy that often frustrates Wall Street's quarterly demands.
It certainly does.
Bezos, too, famously operated Amazon with a multi-year horizon for major initiatives, reinvesting profits for growth, even if it meant little short-term profitability. For these leaders, strategic thinking is dynamic. It's anticipating trends, crafting an actionable roadmap, not just a static annual exercise. It's like they're playing a different, longer game.
They absolutely are. And innovation is truly the lifeblood of the companies they led. Steve Jobs famously said, "Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower." End quote. That belief permeated Apple's approach, from the iMac's design to the iPhone's integration. This drive often manifests as a willingness to make bold moves early in their tenure. Significant resource reallocation, transformative M&A, fundamental improvements that force the industry to respond.
Crucially, it seems to be about cultivating a culture that embraces experimentation and, importantly, learns from failure. Bezos institutionalized this at Amazon with 2 pizza teams, small, autonomous groups designed for rapid innovation.
Right, small enough to be fed by 2 pizzas.
Exactly. And he fostered acceptance of good failures as the necessary cost of invention, famously believing if you double the number of experiments, you're going to double your inventiveness.
Jensen Huang fosters risk-taking at NVIDIA, celebrating rapid iteration. And Satya Nadella's growth mindset at Microsoft encourages trying new things without being paralyzed by fear of failure.
So it's not recklessness.
No, not at all. It's calculated risk. Pushing beyond comfortable boundaries, backed by deep conviction and a clear understanding of potential upsides and downsides. These leaders consistently challenge the status quo, conventional wisdom. They understand that standing still is effectively moving backward in today's world.
And many successful CEOs seem to place the customer at the absolute center of their universe. Jeff Bezos is renowned for customer obsession, starting with the customer, working backward in everything Amazon does.
Relentlessly focusing on customer needs, even unarticulated ones.
Sam Walton built Walmart on satisfaction guaranteed, didn't he? A relentless commitment to exceeding customer expectations, often through everyday low prices.
He did. And Steve Jobs, while maybe not always directly asking customers what they wanted, he famously quipped, "By the time you get it built, they'll want something new."
Yeah.
He was deeply focused on creating an unparalleled user experience.
Intuitive, elegant, seamlessly integrated.
Exactly. This profound, almost intuitive focus on the end user drives everything. Product development, strategic orientation. It's about anticipating desires, not just fulfilling requests.
The path to greatness, though, it's rarely smooth. It's often paved with significant challenges, setbacks, crises. So top CEOs demonstrate incredible resilience, don't they?
Absolutely. The ability to navigate turbulent waters, bounce back from adversity, emerge stronger. And this links directly to adaptability, the capacity to evolve strategies, leadership styles, even core beliefs as the company matures and the market landscape shifts.
Bill Gates, for example, he famously transitioned his leadership style at Microsoft from highly autocratic early on, intensely hands-on, notoriously challenging,
Just quite demanding.
to more transformational and delegative as the company scaled globally.
And Satya Nadella's remarkable revitalization of Microsoft is a testament to his adaptability, fundamentally changing the company's strategic focus and culture.
Underlying both resilience and adaptability seems to be this profound, almost insatiable commitment to continuous learning.
Definitely. Nadella's championing of a learn-it-all culture. Buffett's extensive reading, devouring annual reports, books, Bezos' continuous experimentation, Jensen Huang's dedication to being a good student of the market and technology, always open to new insights.
So beyond the strategic brilliance, the sheer drive, strong ethical foundations seem crucial for sustained success. Warren Buffett famously prioritizes integrity in his hires, even above intelligence or energy, believing it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it.
That commitment to ethical conduct, transparency, it builds deep trust,
Yeah.
which is really the bedrock of any enduring enterprise.
And empathy seems to have emerged as increasingly vital, particularly now.
Yes, especially in modern, complex, global organizations. Satya Nadella made it a cornerstone of Microsoft's transformation, arguing it's essential for understanding diverse customer needs, fostering psychological safety crucial for innovation, enabling employees to do their best work without fear.
Indra Nooyi, too, right? Exemplifying empathetic leadership.
Yes, connecting with employees, understanding their lives, fostering a sense of belonging as part of her performance with purpose initiative. And this ties into broader ethical governance, corporate social responsibility. Nui's strategy explicitly linked PepsiCo's financial success to positive societal impact, proving purpose and profit can go hand in hand.
Bill Gates' philanthropy, of course.
A profound commitment to leveraging wealth and influence for global betterment. And McKinsey's research points to social purpose as a key practice of excellent CEOs today. But it's important to note, the expression of these traits varies significantly. That's a key takeaway.
Yes.
Well, Steve Jobs' innovation was driven by an autocratic, intensely demanding style, top-down. In contrast, Satya Nadella fostered innovation at Microsoft by cultivating empathy, psychological safety, collaborative learning, empowering teams bottom-up.
So authenticity is key.
Absolutely. Integrating these traits with your own style, adapted to your unique circumstances, the needs of your organization, there's no single template for greatness.
And there's a critical interplay here between that visionary outlook and continuous learning adaptability. An unyielding adherence to a vision, without openness to new information, changing realities. That can actually be a pitfall, right? Like maybe Microsoft's initial slowness with mobile?
Arguably, yes. The most effective CEOs, like Nadella pivoting Microsoft or Bezos constantly evolving Amazon, demonstrate an ability to maintain a steadfast core purpose while exhibiting remarkable tactical flexibility. They learn, they adjust course, without losing sight of the ultimate destination. It suggests what you might call a dynamic vision firm in aims, adaptable in execution.
That makes sense.
Furthermore, that growing emphasis on integrity and empathy by modern, successful CEOs like Nadella and Nooyi, it isn't just soft skills anymore. They are strategic imperatives for long-term health, value creation. Empathy enhances understanding of customer needs, fosters psychological safety, crucial for innovation, builds employee loyalty. Integrity, like Buffett exemplifies, is the bedrock of trust, essential for high-performing teams, stakeholder relationships, especially in today's transparent world.
So ethical leadership, empathy, indispensable components now, driving long-term value and reputation.
Exactly. They become strategic differentiators.
Great CEOs don't just react to market conditions, do they? They seem to act with conviction, formulating, implementing bold, decisive strategies. McKinsey highlights bold moves early, significant shifts in resource allocation, transformative M&A, fundamental improvements in productivity or differentiation. These aren't just tweaks.
No, they're often paradigm-shifting plays. Steve Jobs' return to Apple in '97 is a classic example. He drastically simplified that convoluted product line, cut 70% of inventory, focused resources on a few key innovations that revitalized the company.
Moving from dozens of Mac models to just 4.
That radical simplification, yeah. It freed up resources, allowed for unparalleled focus. Satya Nadella's decisive pivot of Microsoft to cloud-first, mobile-first was another bold departure from their traditional software model, essentially betting the company's future on a new paradigm.
And Lou Gerstner at IBM.
Right. His decision to keep IBM unified when everyone was calling to break it up and instead refocus on IT services, that was a game-changing strategic call that saved the company.
Decisiveness, even with incomplete information, seems key. Jeff Bezos' 70% rule, making decisions with about 70% of the info, because waiting for 100% means missing the boat.
That bias for action, a core Amazon principle.
And strategic planning isn't static for these leaders. McKinsey emphasizes staying active in resource allocation, constantly reevaluating, shifting capital and talent where it creates most value, not just sticking rigidly to a plan if things change.
But strategy, however brilliant, is inert without people, right? CEOs must build high-performing teams, cultures aligned with their mission and values. McKinsey's research emphasizes matching talent to value. ensuring the most critical roles, the ones with the biggest impact on value creation, are filled by the very best people, even if it means moving people around or hiring externally, putting your best players where the ball is.
Satya Nadella's transformation of Microsoft's culture is such a powerful illustration, moving from that know-it-all culture, internal competition,
The
silos.
one characterized by a growth mindset, empathy, inclusivity.
And that shift didn't just feel good, it demonstrably unlocked innovation, collaboration, leading directly to their resurgence.
Indra Nooyi's Performance with Purpose at PepsiCo imbued the company with a broader mission, linking financial success with positive social and environmental impact, which energized employees.
Sam Walton built Walmart on partnership with his associates, sharing profits, information, fostering this powerful sense of shared ownership, revolutionary for retail back then.
These examples highlight that building trust, ensuring transparency, establishing clear accountability, these are foundational for cultures where high-performing teams can truly thrive and execute effectively. It's not enough to have a good strategy. You need the right people, aligned by purpose, empowered by trust to bring it to life.
The organizational structure a CEO champions is also a critical enabler of strategy. No one-size-fits-all, but it has to align with strategic objectives, the leader's philosophy. It's the skeleton supporting the business.
Exactly. Let's look at some diverse, even contrasting examples. Apple's functional structure under Steve Jobs. When he returned, Jobs dismantled Apple's fragmented business units, consolidated under a single P&L, reorganized around core functions like engineering, marketing, design.
Fostering collaboration among specialists.
Right. For integrated products, Apple's hallmark. It was top-down, highly controlled, but it worked for his vision. NVIDIA's flat structure under Jensen Huang. Huang has this exceptionally flat organization. Unlike traditional hierarchies, he has maybe 40 to 60 direct reports. Prefers rapid-fire group discussions over long one-on-ones. Uses top 5 things emails for direct ground reality.
Designed for speed and agility.
Exactly. Minimizing bureaucracy, ensuring critical info reaches him instantly in that hyper-competitive AI industry. Berkshire Hathaway's decentralized structure under Warren Buffett. Famously lean HQ, maybe 27 employees overseeing hundreds of companies. Subsidiaries run almost entirely autonomously.
Buffett focuses on capital allocation.
Acquiring well-managed businesses with strong moats, then a hands-off approach. Trusting existing management. Fosters immense entrepreneurial energy. Amazon's 2 pizza teams under Jeff Bezos. To maintain agility, that startup mentality even as Amazon scaled globally. Small autonomous groups, 5-7 people. Reduces communication overhead, enhances accountability, empowers rapid, independent innovation.
These examples powerfully show organizational design isn't just HR. It's a profound strategic choice. Serving the strategy, the desired culture, enabling, not hindering the company's goals. A living system, not a static chart.
Well put. And the true test of a CEO's mettle is often during profound crisis. The ability to navigate severe challenges, lead turnarounds, make tough decisions under immense pressure. That's a defining characteristic.
Steve Jobs' return to Apple in '97, legendary turnaround, facing bankruptcy.
He not only simplified products, cut inventory, scrapped failing projects like the Newton.
But secured that $150 million investment from Microsoft. Controversial, but it stabilized things.
And later, during the 2008 crisis, while others retrenched, Jobs declared Apple would invest our way through the downturn, boosting R&D, led directly to the iPad launch in 2010, another runaway success.
Lou Gerstner at IBM in '93, company in a death spiral, losing billions.
Against advice to break it up, he kept it unified, pivoted boldly into IT services, transforming IBM from hardware-software vendor to services powerhouse, fundamentally changing IBM's complacent, insular culture.
Warren Buffett during the Salomon Brothers scandal in '91.
Stepped in personally as interim chairman, took decisive action, fired executives, implemented strict compliance, cooperated with regulators. His personal integrity was crucial in restoring trust, saving the firm.
And in the 2008 crisis,
Berkshire acted as a supplier of liquidity and capital, made significant well-timed investments in Goldman Sachs, GE, emphasizing financial strength, viewing downturns not as threats, but as opportunities.
Indra Nooyi navigated PepsiCo through the '08 crisis.
Implemented necessary cost-cutting, 8,700 jobs shed, but at the same time continued investing in performance with purpose. Understanding long-term vision was essential even then, and successfully fended off activist Nelson Peltz who wanted to break up the company, showed real steadfastness.
Satya Nadella when he took over Microsoft.
Had to address the aftermath of that costly, failed Nokia acquisition. made the tough call to write down assets, conduct large layoffs, refocusing resources on cloud and AI. And he's been proactive addressing AI ethical considerations, taking a leadership stance on responsible AI,
Jensen Huang leads NVIDIA in that volatile semiconductor industry.
constantly managing intense competition. AMD, Intel, now others designing their own chips. Navigates complex global supply chains, reliance on TSMC, faces geopolitical headwinds like U.S. export restrictions to China.
Case strategy.
Relentless, dizzying innovation, offering the lowest total cost of ownership for AI chips, performance plus efficiency plus ecosystem, and actively seeking new markets, applications for NVIDIA's tech. Extreme agility.
These examples show effective crisis management isn't just survival. It combines decisive, sometimes incredibly difficult short-term actions,
Radical cost-cutting, strategic divestitures for immediate stability.
but coupled with a reinforced commitment to the company's long-term vision, core values. They don't just survive, they use crises as inflection points to reshape or reaffirm their strategic trajectory, like fire forging stronger resolve.
Exactly. And furthermore, a purpose-driven culture becomes a fundamental strategic lever in crisis, like Nadella's empathy and growth mindset at Microsoft, or Nooyi's performance with purpose at PepsiCo. Such cultures provide a compelling why behind the what, giving employees a reason to go above and beyond. Attracts, retains top talent, fosters innovation under pressure, builds profound organizational resilience.
So when employees are deeply connected to the mission,
Their motivation, adaptability are significantly amplified. This truly positions the CEO as not just chief strategist, but chief culture officer, understanding that culture is the ultimate differentiator.
but even the most celebrated leaders make mistakes, right? Examining their stumbles offers profound lessons in humility, adaptability. Reminds us no one is infallible, and maybe those missteps are precisely what forge resilience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And before diving into individual examples, maybe let's identify some general pitfalls that can derail even promising executives.
Yeah.
Things like a lack of vision or clarity, failing to think big enough, align purpose effectively, execution failures, inconsistent rhythms, poor processes, lack of accountability, resistance to diverse perspectives, surrounding oneself with yes men, dismissing dissent, leading to blind spots.
The echo chamber effect.
Exactly. Personal leadership deficiencies, micromanagement, conflict avoidance, oversized ego, stifling feedback, the hero leader syndrome, complacency and fear of change, because as Bill Gates noted, success can be a lousy teacher. Failure to confront brutal facts can be fatal,
Innovation, risk aversion.
where bureaucracy stifles experimentation. And finally, a leadership development deficit, postponing investment in future leaders, leaving a succession vacuum. These are common traps.
Okay, so let's learn from the actual mistakes, sometimes very public ones, of these great leaders.
Right. Starting with Steve Jobs. His early career was marked by that abrasive, autocratic style that many believe contributed directly to his ousting from Apple in '85.
Known to be a bully.
Demeaning employees in public often lacked formal management training. Strategically, hiring John Sculley as CEO was a misjudgment, leading to his departure. Early products like Lisa, the initial Mac, had sales disappointments. The Newton message pad was a notable flop.
What's the lesson there?
His time away taught him to simplify, cutting 70% of inventory. And he famously admitted, sometimes when you innovate, you make mistakes. It is best to admit them quickly. His focus became more strategically channeled, refined upon return, showcased incredible self-correction.
What about Warren Buffett? He seems so consistent.
He's remarkably candid about his investment mistakes in those annual shareholder letters. Legendary for transparency. Examples. Dexter Shoe, acquired for $433 million in Berkshire stock. He misjudged its competitive advantage, admitted paying too much for a weak moat. His large ConocoPhillips investment just before the 2008 crisis, a major mistake of commission, terrible timing, misreading the oil market.
He held on too long to Tesco too, right?
Yes, a $444 million loss. Divesting airline stocks during COVID at a substantial loss also drew criticism. His famous errors of omission, missing Google and Amazon because he felt he didn't understand their businesses well enough for his circle of competence.
That concept where you only invest in what you truly understand.
Exactly. And in leadership governance, the David Sokol incident, an exec trading stock before an acquisition, drew criticism for Buffett's initial lenient handling, raised questions about board independence.
So the lessons from Buffett stumbles.
He continually emphasizes durable competitive advantage, avoiding overpaying, dangers of leverage, management integrity, staying rigorously within his circle of competence, and crucially, admitting errors promptly and publicly.
Okay, Jeff Bezos. Amazon has had some flops.
High-profile ones, yeah. which Bezos often frames as necessary costs of innovation, learning. The Fire Phone, massive $170 million write-off. A video game crucible pulled shortly after launch. The ambitious healthcare venture Haven with JP Morgan and Berkshire quietly shut down.
Early .com investments, too.
Pets.com, Cosmo.com led to losses. And for leadership criticisms, persistent reports of intense warehouse conditions, high injury rates, accusations of aggressive anti-union stances, antitrust scrutiny over market power, alleged use of third-party seller data.
How did Bezos respond to those criticisms?
Publicly reiterated Amazon's long-term thinking as key to weathering failures. On labor criticisms, he acknowledged needing to do a better job for employees, aiming to make Amazon Earth's best employer, signaling a shift. Failures for him are explicitly part of innovation, not deviations.
Bill Gates, what were his major missteps?
He himself admitted his greatest mistake was allowing Android to become the dominant non-Apple mobile OS, a potential $400 billion miss for Microsoft. He called it one of the biggest mistakes of all time.
Wow. And his early style?
That early autocratic style, intense, confrontational. While effective for a startup, sometimes stifled creativity, made the company resistant to change as it grew. And the landmark antitrust crisis in the late 90s, Microsoft found abusing monopoly power by bundling Internet Explorer. His deposition performance was widely seen as evasive, hurting public perception.
Lessons from Gates.
The antitrust battle undeniably made Microsoft more cautious. Gates significantly evolved his leadership style, ultimately focusing on philanthropy. The mobile miss is a stark reminder. Even dominant companies can falter if they don't adapt fast enough to paradigm shifts.
Satya Nadella, he seems to have navigated Microsoft's turnaround so well. Any stumbles?
He inherited significant challenges. Cultural stagnation, losing mobile relevance, the costly no-key acquisition aftermath. He managed massive write-downs, significantly lost to right size. Ongoing challenges under him include intense scrutiny over AI ethical implications, bias, job displacement, military use, further layoffs during restructuring, concerns about AI overconfidence, maybe moving too fast without considering societal impact.
What are the lessons there?
He demonstrated the immense power of cultural transformation through empathy, growth mindset, a proactive focus on transparency, responsible AI, positioning Microsoft as a leader in ethical tech development, turning inherited problems into future strengths.
Indra Nooyi at PepsiCo, what challenges did she face?
Her performance with purpose strategy, while visionary, faced initial investor skepticism over short-term profitability, especially during the 2008 crisis. Market demanded immediate returns.
And she battled activist investor Nelson Peltz.
Famously, Pelt pushed aggressively for PepsiCo to spin off snacks and beverages. Nooyi steadfastly resisted, believing in the integrated portfolio.
Lessons from Nooyi.
Resilience, steadfastness in pursuing long-term vision amidst intense external pressure. Balancing empathy with tough decisions, anticipating future consumer trends, integrating them into core strategy.
And finally, Jensen Huang at NVIDIA.
Operates in that highly competitive cyclical industry. Faces rivals AMD, Intel, now others designing their own chips. Manages complex global supply chain reliance, especially on TSMC. Faces geopolitical headwinds like U.S. export restrictions to China. Ongoing concerns about NVIDIA's valuation sustainability.
And his leadership style.
His extreme directness, public criticism while fostering learning, could be demoralizing for some. His pain and suffering philosophy, embracing challenges for growth, might not suit every personality.
Lessons from Huang.
Relentless innovation is his primary defense. Focus on delivering lowest total cost of ownership for AI chips, performance, efficiency, ecosystem. Extreme agility to navigate supply chain, geopolitical issues by seeking new markets, applications.
A critical takeaway from all these instances seems to be the profound importance of humility, a willingness to learn, even for the most accomplished. Buffett's candid admissions are powerful. Jobs' evolution after his ousting shows that capacity for learning, adaptation, turning a setback into fuel for triumph.
These failures were rarely terminal. Often, they were inflection points leading to significant learning, strategic adjustments, reinforcing that setbacks can be powerful catalysts if approached with the right mindset. Not an end, but a crucial lesson, turning adversity into advantage.
And ironically, a CEO's greatest strengths, if unchecked, can sometimes become their biggest pitfalls. Jobs' intensity drove innovation, but could be abrasive. Buffett's circle of competence meant missing tech giants. Bezos' drive for efficiency linked to work culture criticisms.
Which suggests profound self-awareness, actively seeking contrary opinions, cultivating an inner circle willing to challenge you. These are vital to mitigate those potential downsides.
So you don't need to mimic their personalities, right? trying to be the next Steve Jobs or Warren Buffett. That's not authentic, probably not even desirable. But you absolutely can understand and apply the fundamental tenets that underpin their achievements in your own context. Whether leading a team, building a venture, or an organization, these are learnable principles, not, genetic gifts.
Exactly. And several robust frameworks, sets of principles emerge from studying these leaders and broader leadership research. These aren't just abstract ideas. They're like operating systems for success. McKinsey's 18 CEO practices, a comprehensive framework, corporate strategy, organizational alignment, team leadership, board engagement, external stakeholders, personal working norms, key practices like reframing vision, matching talent to value, putting best people in highest value roles. Amazon's leadership principles, developed under Bezos. 16 principles like customer obsession, invent and simplify, bias for action, urgency in decisions, think big. A robust operating system for decision-making, behavior across Amazon. Sam Walton's 10 rules for building a business. Walmart founder distilled his philosophy. Simple, powerful rules like share your profits with associates, listen to everyone, exceed customers' expectations. Practical, deeply ingrained values. Indra Nooyi's C framework often spoke about her 5 C's or 7 C's. Competency, courage and confidence, communication, consistency, compass, integrity, moral compass, often adding creativity, coaching, a holistic view of modern leadership needs. Jensen Huang's principles. NVIDIA CEO emphasizes continuous learning, be a good student, directness, radical transparency, tell everybody everything, building from first principles, breaking problems down, recognizing strategy is what you do, actions, not just words or PowerPoints.
Okay, let's translate these incredible insights into practical, actionable steps for you. Regardless of your current role or aspirations, think of this as, maybe, your personal blueprint for excellence. Lead with vision. Articulate a clear, compelling, ambitious vision. Define your why. Communicate it consistently, passionately, clearly. Think Steve Jobs selling empowerment through tech, not just computers. Or Jensen Huang seeing GPUs as the engine for AI years ahead. Master strategic planning and execution. Develop clear, measurable objectives. Identify critical initiatives, allocate resources, capital, talent, time effectively for long-term goals. Like Jeff Bezos' relentless focus on long-term growth, reinvesting profits. Or Buffett's disciplined capital allocation, employ methodologies emphasizing speed, conviction, bias for action. Build high-performing teams and culture. Prioritize attracting, developing, retaining top talent. Foster diversity, true collaboration, trust, transparency, clear accountability. Satya Nadella's cultural transformation at Microsoft inclusion, empathy, growth mindset, reinvigorated innovation, collaboration. Culture drives capability. Embrace innovation and adaptability. Cultivate a mindset for experimentation. Learn rapidly from successes and failures. Stay keenly attuned to trends, shifts. Be willing to think like a startup. Challenge conventions, even your own. Nadella's shift of Microsoft to cloud, despite its legacy, is a prime example of proactive adaptability, turning weakness into strength. Be customer-centric. Place the customer at the absolute heart of all decisions. Deeply understand their needs, pain points, aspirations. Strive to exceed expectations, even unarticulated ones. Amazon's customer obsession, working backward from the customer, is the ultimate example. Relentless focus builds loyalty. Make data-driven and intuition-informed decisions. Use data analytics to inform choices, but also recognize the crucial role of experience, judgment, intuition, especially in ambiguous situations where data is incomplete. Indra Nooyi balanced data with foresight, shifting PepsiCo's portfolio towards healthier options, anticipating future demands. Communicate effectively and manage stakeholders. Simplify complex ideas. Communicate transparently, consistently. Actively listen to all stakeholders, employees, customers, investors, community. Warren Buffett's shareholder letters are lauded globally for clarity, candor, building immense trust. Commit to continuous learning and development. Dedicate significant time to learning. Seek mentors, diverse perspectives. Read widely. Reflect deeply on experiences for personal, professional growth. Bill Gates's Think Weeks for reading, reflection show learning is never finished. Develop resilience and master crisis management. Build personal, organizational resilience for setbacks. Proactively prepare for crises. Lead with clarity, empathy, decisive action during uncertainty. Communicate hope, a path forward. Indra Nooyi's leadership during the 2008 crisis tough cuts alongside long-term vision shows this critical balance. Champion ethical leadership and corporate social responsibility. Lead with unwavering integrity. Consider broader societal impact. Foster responsibility, purpose beyond mere profit. Indra Nooyi's performance with purpose aligned business success with positive societal contributions. Leadership beyond the balance sheet.
And many of these lessons, they aren't secret formulas, are they? They're fundamental principles like customer obsession or Walton's listen to everyone, applied with extraordinary discipline, rigor, consistency across entire organizations. The true power lies not in the novelty, but in the relentless, unwavering, visibly championed execution by the leader. It's about how deeply ingrained these principles become in the operational DNA.
Ultimately, what a truly great CEO builds seems to be a system of leadership, codifying these principles into the very culture, the operational DNA of the organization, like Amazon's leadership principles or Walton's rules. This institutionalization allows excellence to endure beyond their own tenure, ensuring the long-term vitality, the impact of the organization. It's about building something that outlives you.
Building a legacy through systems, exactly. Hashtag tag Gauntro.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, remember that CEO greatness is truly multifaceted. It's about a clear, often audacious vision, relentless innovation, unwavering customer focus, building powerful, purpose-driven cultures, and incredible resilience in the face of adversity. These leaders didn't just manage, they fundamentally shaped the world around them.
And remember, even the best stumble. Their failures, Jobs' early ousting, Buffett's investment errors, Bezos' labor criticisms, Gates' mobile miss at dread. They teach us that vigilance, humility, and a profound commitment to learning from mistakes are just as crucial as the initial drive. Sometimes our greatest strengths, if unchecked, can also become our biggest weaknesses. So constant self-awareness is absolutely key.
What stands out to you from these insights? How might you apply just one of these principles? Maybe avoid a common pitfall in your own work or life this week, perhaps adopting a growth mindset, or practicing customer obsession on your next project.
Consider how these legendary leaders, despite diverse paths, consistently returned to core principles, adapted them to ever-changing landscapes, often after significant missteps. What is one area where you could commit to more disciplined application of a known good principle, turning that knowledge into real action?
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the minds of the world's best CEOs. We hope this has given you a powerful shortcut to being well-informed and hopefully inspired. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing.